Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Stampede. I am AZ Rhino, joined with my co-host Buffalo K. Buffalo K, how you doing today, bro?
I am fantastic, buddy.
You have a good week?
Yeah, no, it was a good week. Everybody got to enjoy some entertaining football on Thursday. So that was good.
Browns win, man. Browns win. There you go. So that's going to lead us right into our NFL news segment. We're starting off with the Cleveland Browns finally joining the win column after 600 plus days of playing winless football. So hell of a stretch, especially for that fan base. It was brutal at times, but it looked brutal to start. I mean, they were down what 14-0, and then
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor looked horrendous. Gets concussed, pulled out of the game. I thought he got pulled for just playing terribly, but I found out that after that he was concussed. And Baker Mayfield finally comes in, gets the job done, and leads them to a win over the New York Jets. Um, yeah, Kay, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Guys, I hate to say it, but the entire city of Buffalo tried to tell everybody else on the planet who Tyrod Taylor was. Like what he did Thursday night was exactly what we saw for 3 years with him here. No surprise. I mean, the guy, he's incredibly driven. He's a great teammate. He's a hard worker, limited talent. I mean, the underthrown balls, the bad reads, the panics in the pocket and the scrambles. He's a great rusher, great, quote, dual threat quarterback. Kind of a dual threat, right? He's a great runner. Um, less than that for a quarterback. To put in perspective, we talked about it before. Guys, Nathan Peterman threw for more yards than Tyrod Taylor did last week. Um, that's a rough stat. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people they were down on. I would say they were down on Tyrod, but they gave him the benefit of the doubt when he was in Buffalo, saying that he was just on a bad team. He had no receivers, so they changed that. Right, we put him on the Browns, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go see him shine, and he was the exact same player he was in Buffalo. So I think people in Buffalo feel pretty vindicated, because like Tyrod got benched last year for Peterman, and then the Bills released him, and I was like, oh, what are you guys doing? He's a good quarterback, this and that, and we're like, see, we tried to warn you. Um, but I mean, aside from Tyrod Taylor, I mean, congrats to the Browns fans. I have some buddies that are huge Browns fans, and I know they are just ecstatic. I mean, that was fun to watch. I think for everybody to see those guys finally get a win in prime time, no less. So everybody saw it.
They finally unlocked the Bud Light fridges. I'm sure
Yeah, that's
Cleveland
great.
lost their minds. So, yeah, I mean Baker Mayfield comes in relief due to Tyrod getting concussed, but Tyrod left that game 4 of 14 for 19 yards passing and a 39.6 rating. That is abysmal. Like I really thought he got pulled. Looking at the
Yeah,
stats, I mean, we were streaming and I had the game up and
right.
whatnot, and I thought he just got pulled because how bad he was doing, but.
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield comes in and just lights it up. 17 to 23, 201 yards, 100 rating. They look good. They pulled off the Philly special for the 2 point conversion, which was awesome. I thought coming in. I
oh
did
yeah,
see
that set the
that.
fans over the moon.
Oh man,
That's
they
the fans went
lost their
crazy for that.
minds. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think everybody, they gotta kind of curb their uh, expectations a little bit because I mean, look what Sam Darnold
Right.
did when he first started. He came out lights out. He had the first pick six for his NFL pass, but then the rest of the game he was lights out. But every week since, he's gotten progressively worse. And
Right.
so I
Right.
think we need to kind of watch that with Baker Mayfield. He came in hot. He looked great. But we'll see what he does. And then Hugh Jackson said after the game they got to watch the tape. I think it's just kind of a paying respect to Tyrod Taylor, not just to say like
Yeah.
Tyrod who we got Baker Mayfield now. You
Right.
can't expect the coach to come out and do that with the whole typical sports cliches. You get the players and coach talking, but
Yeah, not especially right after the game. I
yeah,
mean, they're gonna go have a little chat. I think everybody knows what's coming though. I think Tyrod is gonna take a back seat now, and they're gonna let the rookie have at it.
yep,
But you're right. I mean, it's great to be excited after one game, but emotions were high. I'm sure he was excited to go in there. It worked out for him. We'll see what comes up in the next couple of weeks. I mean, their schedule isn't exactly easy.
no, Who do they have
I don't know. We'll
next?
see. I don't remember who they have next week. I'll take a look. But either way, I mean, I think it's different for these rookie quarterbacks to come in the middle of a game like that and not have that full week of weight and responsibility on their shoulders. Actually, I think it might honestly be easier because I mean, he came in, they were down 14-0 or
Yeah.
14-3, and it was okay. Just go throw the ball, like just go read and throw the ball, no prep. Just get in there and make something happen, and it worked for him. I hope it continues because I want to see the Browns do well. I think everybody wants to see the Browns, win a good chunk of games this
Yep.
year. But I don't know. I'm tempering, same thing. I'm tempering expectations. I don't expect him to be a superstar right out of the gate. Um, I think the only guy I think I'm really still impressed with, rookie wise, he's not really rookie though, is Patrick Mahomes. I don't expect Baker Mayfield to be Patrick Mahomes out of the gate this year.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could be. You see the good arm. He made great reads. He only missed 6 throws in that game, so that's impressive for 100 rating for his first game. I'd take it, and there's definitely reason to be excited there.
Yeah. So the Browns do play against the Raiders next week in Oakland. So that could be actually a pretty good game. I wouldn't mind actually watching that matchup. So if
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield's playing, if Tyrod's playing, I don't know. I have no interest, but all right.
yeah.
So moving on. Now that Baker Mayfield has started, all that's left out of the top quarterbacks that were taken this last year's draft is Josh Rosen. We've seen the Cardinals struggle. Steve Keim actually came out in a press conference earlier this week saying that Rosen will play when the time's right. Typical cliche answer,
Mm-hmm.
but they've been talking all week, living in Arizona, and that's all I hear is Cardinals talk. They are dumbing down their offense, apparently. Mike McCoy is. This is something I dealt with last season in Denver. Mike McCoy got cute and tried to get all complex and fancy, and it just didn't work.
Mm.
He got fired. And now he's doing the same thing with Arizona. I kind of thought maybe he'd learned his lesson, but he hasn't. Let's see what he can do. They've made it pretty clear that they're going to incorporate David Johnson more, which, this should be an easy thing to do. And just
Hopefully.
simplify the offense a little bit more. They got the Bears this week, which you get to go see. So
Yeah, I'm stoked.
should be a good game.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, we'll be down there at the game. And I mean, for the sake of all of my fantasy teams, I hope David Johnson gets the ball a lot more because he's
Yep.
been killing me so far. Um, I lost the game last week by less than a point, and David Johnson finished the game with like 5.2 points. I couldn't believe it.
It was against the Rams. I
Um,
mean, the defense is insane.
I know, but still, that's one more catch, man. One more
Yeah.
catch, and I had it. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm looking forward to that game. I've never been down to Arizona for a game. This should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the stadium, the fans. It's nice to go in as not a fan of a specific team
Yeah.
and just enjoy football. Enjoy the crowd, enjoy the game. This should be a lot of fun.
You're gonna bring a table there and do some Bills Mafia stuff in the parking lot of State Farm Stadium.
I mean, we thought about it. It's not out of the question yet. I'm sure there's a Walmart close by with a $14 table I can set on fire. Um, we'll see how the day goes. It's up in the air still.
There you go. I have one that's been left out in the sun that's brittle. Might look better.
Oh, it's perfect.
Jump
Yeah,
through
that'd
it.
break easy. Yeah, yeah. The new ones are a little rough. You got to leave them out for about a week.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Bradford's been uncharacteristically bad so far to start the season. Just his track record, he shouldn't be this bad. So I think it's a little bit of Mike McCoy with the play calling. So we'll see what he can do. They are going up against Mac, so we'll see. Cardinals
Yeah.
O line is shaky, not the worst, but not the best either. But yeah, I agree because I mean, in one of my leagues, I just traded for David Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald. So
Hmm.
I believe they will turn it around. So
Right on.
moving on, Seattle's offensive coordinator Schottenheimer has been taking the blame for Seattle's shaky start. They're 0-2. They're going against the Cowboys at home this week, which spoiler alert, I'm picking the Cowboys to win. And we'll get into that in a minute, but pretty much, Schottenheimer, it's almost like the same thing with McCoy. He's not playing to Russell Wilson's strengths, and it's showing. They're not doing play action. They're also banged up. I get that. Doug Baldwin's hurt.
Yeah.
They got Lockett and Disley and Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall's an older receiver. He hasn't really done much the last couple of years. Lockett's never been a tier 1 receiver.
Right.
So they're not working with, and then the run game is abysmal too, and along with that O line, which plays a huge factor in all of that. Um,
Hmm.
but I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think I mean I think it hit the nail on the head. I think there's a substantial lack of talent on the offensive side of the ball. You know, with guys being banged up, the run game is nowhere near what it was. I mean, even just a few years ago, I mean, you went from Marshawn Lynch, and then even guys like Thomas Rawls came in and stepped into superstar numbers.
Hmm.
You know, the guy looked like I don't know, like he was being shot out of a cannon every game. You know, he turned into especially like a fantasy superstar overnight. You know,
Yeah.
from unknown to must start every week, and then that faded right away. And now they're fumbling around with two or three different guys back there. Chris Carson hasn't really done a thing to impress anybody. Um, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But even, I mean, I understand all the other weapons outside of Russell Wilson are lacking right now. I've never been a big Russell Wilson fan. Um, he's not bad. He's not he's not a bad quarterback, but I think his praises sometimes outreach his play style. So I don't know. They're kind of for me they're where I expect him to be on offense. I know with the offensive coordinator taking blame for it. I think that's his role. He's got to step in front and fall on the sword for his
Yeah.
team. But I don't know. I didn't expect anything different than what's happening right now in Seattle.
I mean, Schottenheimer's never had he's never been successful, really. I mean,
Right.
he's been with the Jets and the Rams. I think with the Jets, he had one season where his offense cracked top 10. And
Yeah.
then with the Rams, I don't think he ever had an offense crack the top 20. So
Right.
he's
Right.
never been a great offensive coordinator. So it was kind of I got Seattle fans that I work with and whatnot that I'm really good friends with, and they were not happy with that hire. They were glad to get rid of uh, Bevel, I think was the last OC, and then they make
Mhm.
that hire, and I knew they were like, well, great, we just go from one bad guy to another. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
we'll see. I know Pete Carroll's also kind of fallen on the sword too. He said ultimately it does come down to him, which it's not wrong. He's the head coach.
Right.
But we'll see. Like I said, they're gonna have another tough game this week. But we'll get to that coming up.
Yeah.
Moving on, Steelers continue to be in the headlines. Started all with Le'Veon Bell with his holdout and whatnot, and then after the game, their loss on Sunday to the Chiefs, one of the former Steelers employees tweeted out saying that AB needs to thank his lucky stars because he was drafted by a team that had Big Ben. You know darn well he wouldn't put up those numbers for other teams. And then AB responded with, "Trade me, let's find out." So that started a media frenzy. Um, and then AB proceeded not to show up to uh, meetings on Monday, which caused even more of a stir. Um,
Right.
so I mean, it's just it's going crazy in Pittsburgh. You know, that used to be one of the more solid franchises, but it seems like they're kind of losing, the losing grasp on the reins of trying to keep everybody in line with all these issues with between AB and Bell.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it started last year too with Martavis Bryant.
Yep.
He wanted out of town, and they refused to trade him for a while. And I don't remember, did they trade him during the season? Or did they wait? I can't remember now. I
I don't
think they
remember.
waited.
Yeah, I think it was after the season.
Um, but either way, I mean, they've been in some sort of dysfunction now for probably the least 12 months. This story, though, in particular, with Antonio Brown, I think this has become a big story about a non-story. I don't think he wants out of Pittsburgh. I don't think that's the case at all. I think he was kind of just clapping back,
Yeah.
on Twitter, just I don't know, blowing off some steam, letting somebody have it, which is fine. Do your thing. He's allowed to be. I mean, they're in a bad spot. They're 0-1-1 right now, so he's allowed to be in a I don't know pissy spot for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
So it's. But I mean, losing does that to a team. Losing makes you irritated. They make you say things like this. They cause dysfunction in the locker room. Like, you don't walk into. I mean, I don't know. The Chiefs locker room right now is, I'm sure, great.
Oh yeah.
Winning fixes
Oh
everything. They
yeah.
say. Um, it's not when you're down, when you're 0-1-1, and you tied with the Browns, which I'm not super shocked by that either, though. I mean,
No.
they almost lost to the Browns last year. Like, that's for a division game, like, rules go out the window.
Oh yeah.
You can't ever go, well, this team's better than this team. I mean, how many times have the Jets or Miami beaten the Patriots? And you're just like, how does that happen? Like, I think there's been years I've seen the Jets have 2 wins per year, and one of them was the Patriots. I'm like, that doesn't, that it happens. But again, I think it's just a big story about nothing. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I don't know what happened Monday with him not showing up.
He got
But as far as
disciplined
I know,
for it.
he's been back in.
Yeah,
Did he?
yeah. It was just I don't. It was a personal matter from what the media was saying or what was the official
No.
statement from the Steelers, but who knows? He did show up. He got disciplined, I guess. But yeah, I mean, AB already came out saying he doesn't want to be traded.
Right, right.
But yeah, it's just
Yeah, I'd be shocked
Tomlin's
if that
losing that
changes.
locker room in a hurry. So,
Yeah,
but like you said, winning fixes everything. If they can right the track, they got the Bucks this week, so I
right.
expect them to be in another full shootout like they were last
I
week with
can't
Kansas
wait.
City. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so all right, moving on. We got Terrell Davis thinks rookie Philip Lindsay can break his franchise rushing record. He already made news by Philip Lindsay already asked Terrell Davis about wearing his number 30 while playing for the Broncos, and Terrell Davis, granted permission. He's like, yeah, absolutely, man. He's a homegrown talent. Went to high school in Colorado. Went to college in Colorado. Now he's playing for the home team Broncos. And he's looked great the first two games. Very explosive. He's hungry to help this team any way he can, and he's looked great doing it. He's the first undrafted free agent in NFL history with 100+ scrimmage yards in their first two games. So
Wow.
he's definitely looked good, and Royce Freeman has also looked good. Not as explosive as Lindsey, so I think Lindsey's kind of got the upper hand right now as far as the hot hand with Denver, because I know that's what the coaching staff has said they're going to do. But I don't know. I think that's kind of a bold statement from Terrell Davis. I mean, he's only played two games. Terrell Davis has 7,607 rushing yards. He only
Right.
played for 6 seasons. He had a injury-shortened career with the knees.
Hmm.
But that's cool that Terrell Davis is kind of giving him his blessing. That would make me feel incredible as Philip Lindsay. Um,
Oh yeah.
but what are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
I
I
mean, I
mean,
think you see that a lot. Yeah, I think you see that a lot though out of um, the old time veterans, the leaders of the team from the past. I mean, I can't count how many times Jim Kelly has come out and said like, oh yeah, this quarterback the Bills drafted is going to be great. I'm like, yeah, okay, thanks, Jim. But I mean, Stan Marino's done the same thing. Kurt Warner's done the
yeah,
same thing. Every one of these guys has come up. This guy's going to be great, and then 2 years later, he's on the bench. Yeah, I mean, Phil Lindsay could be very different. I'm not saying I think that's going to be his track.
oh
I'm
yeah,
just saying I think this is a pretty common thing for the veteran, old faces of the franchise that are still around to come out and say that. But it's great for Lindsay. I mean, to get two games with plus 100 yards from scrimmage as an undrafted free agent. That's fantastic, and I think that's a huge boost for Denver and for the fans. Like that's nice to bring in these the underdog stories, the guys from out of nowhere. Everybody loves those. So I mean, hopefully he can keep it up. I think that'd be great, especially for people's fantasy teams. I'm guarantee he's still available in a lot of leagues right now.
yeah. Not mine because I play with other Broncos fans who are all about Philip Lindsay. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's cool that Terrell Davis came out and gave him his blessing. But yeah, it's still
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
early. Anything can happen, especially in this day and age with free agency and whatnot. He could up and leave. I don't think he'd want to be in the hometown team, but who
Right.
knows what's going to happen down the road. Um, little side story here about Terrell Davis. I heard him talking a couple weeks ago. He was doing radio rounds and whatnot. I didn't know this story, to be honest. He what was it, the 1995 preseason when they did some game in Tokyo. Um, when he had his big hit, which got him into like getting more reps. But he actually had wanted to go home that week. He, wasn't doing that well, wasn't getting reps in practice, was kind of, down on himself. So he was trying to get a plane ticket back to Denver. But,
Hmm.
back then they didn't have cell phones, iPhones, stuff like that. So it was a lot difficult. So he tried talking to the hotel clerk and whatnot to get him a ticket home, but he didn't speak Japanese. The hotel clerk didn't speak English. So he ended up, staying there, and the rest is history. He had
Huh.
that huge play
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
special teams, which led him to get more reps, which led him, back to back Super Bowl wins and 2,000 yards rushing in a season. So
Wow.
it's crazy how that could have all changed. We never would have known who Terrell Davis was. Had
Right.
he
Right.
had gotten a plane ticket home. So
See,
um,
technology is the downfall of society. A proven fact right there. If he would have had an iPhone, he would have been on a plane home, and we never would have known who he was.
all right, everybody, on to our next segment. It's the head-to-head picks. Gonna gloat here for a second. I am currently leading 19-12 to K's 15-16. It's only week 2, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna
there's
take
time. There's time.
it.
Don't get too excited there.
Started off the week with a win because I did pick Cleveland, and K is starting the week off with a loss because he picked the Jets.
It looked good, man. It looked good. I thought I was set early on, like early on. I was like, we got this in the bag. Here we go. And then it all fell apart.
Baker saved the day for me because I thought I was going to
Yeah.
start the week off with an L. All right.
Yeah.
First up on the docket after the Thursday night, we have the New Orleans Saints at Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are still banged up. They're still missing some key pieces on their team with
Mhm.
Devonta Freeman. Although Tevin Coleman did look good last week. He always is a good sub in. It seems that he's always kind of a good guy to have stashed on your bench because he does seem to get some
Yeah.
points. And then they also have Deion Jones and Keanu Neal off on their defense. Last week, I picked against them last week. They did play the Panthers and they won. So, shame on me. But this week, I do have the New Orleans Saints winning. They've looked better last week. Not great. They barely got a win against the Browns, but the Browns have a good defense. I got to give them credit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with New Orleans this week.
I've gone back and forth on this one a lot, and I still want to change my mind now, but I'm not going to because you're going with New Orleans. I'm going to take Atlanta I'm going to take Atlanta at home, and to put down the Saints. The Saints have a really great offense, right? Their defense is very, very, I think, susceptible to big plays, and I think Atlanta can take advantage of that. Um, Atlanta's missing a lot of key pieces also, so I think this is going to be our shootout of the week. Both teams do not have great defenses and have pretty potent offenses. I'm hoping the game plan is just run and I'll throw it to you when you get open, because that makes for good football.
Schoolyard
So we'll
football.
see. I think it's going to be a shootout. I'll take Atlanta in a schoolyard shootout.
Okay. New Orleans is the underdog this week, so that's
Mhm.
one underdog pick for me. So we'll see how that plays out. Next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers at Kansas City Chiefs. We all know Mahomes is just tearing it up. I think this is probably the lock of the week, to be honest. I think Kansas City is going to go out again. I believe the Niners mainly run a cover 3, which the Chargers and the Steelers both run, and they
Mhm.
shredded that defense. So
Yeah.
I think this is an easy one. Garoppolo hasn't looked too great so far to start the year. I think San Francisco's still missing some key pieces. I know they were a hot pick for a lot of people, but I was kind of skeptical from the start. So, yeah, I got Kansas City winning easily on this one.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think Tyreek Hill is going to find those seams in that cover 3 and just tear them apart. And if he doesn't, Travis Kelce is going to. If he doesn't, Kareem Hunt's going to be open. There's too many
There's
weapons on that
so many
offense to stop.
weapons.
They're spread out, right? It's not like they have great wide receivers. They have a fantastic wide receiver in Tyreek Hill. They have a phenomenal tight end in Travis Kelce. They have a great running back in Kareem Hunt, and walk in Patrick Mahomes, who can gun it to every one of them, and they look fantastic. At this point, Kansas City, I think they're going to be like 14-2. They look that good.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that as a Broncos fan with that
Yeah.
in my division.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't deny it. Mahomes has looked incredible. I know it's only been 2 games, so we'll see what happens as they get more tape on him. But yeah,
Right.
so we are in agreement with that. Next up, we have the Oakland Raiders going to the East Coast to face the Miami Dolphins. Oakland lost a close one last week to my Denver Broncos. I really thought Denver was terrible in the first half of that game. I'm surprised Oakland didn't put it away. But excuse me. Denver came out swinging in the second half. They've always been a good second half team, but they're going against Miami. They don't do well traveling to the East Coast. So I got Miami in this one as the home favorite. Miami's looked pretty good so far to start the year. They looked really good last week. I believe this is a game that you picked the Jets to win last week, and I picked Miami. So,
Yep.
Tannehill's not looked terrible to start the year. So I think they're going to keep it going. Oakland still doesn't have a pass rush. I think Tannehill's going to have all day to throw to his receivers. So, yeah, I'm locking down Miami this week.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I've been pretty down on Oakland for most of the year, even more so after they traded Mac. I know we're still just kind of boggled by that. Um, but I mean, it's unfortunate for Oakland. I mean, they have really good pieces. Like, I'm a big fan of Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr is a great quarterback. They just can't put it together. So I got to go with, I got to take Miami.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing because of the quote that John Gruden literally said in his press conference on Thursday, I believe. He literally said, "It's hard to find a great pass rusher." Hmm. You guys had one.
Where could I find someone
Weird.
that's like 6'4" and can get to the quarterback on every play? If only when we had a guy like that on our team,
Oh
he could
man,
do something great.
so weird.
uh,
Gruden
Poor
not off to
guy.
a hot start in Oakland, and I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. So, moving on. This is the other lock of the week I have. We have the Buffalo Bills going to Minnesota to face the Vikings. Um, I Minnesota. I mean, I got nothing else to say. I mean, they tied last
Yeah,
week
no,
against Green Bay. Buffalo's still looking like Buffalo. Sorry, Kay. I know that's your
no,
team, but you've already
hey,
accepted it. So,
yeah, no, it's no news here. I don't expect anything out of the Bills. Like, until they get an offensive line and a whole bunch of more receivers and a defensive line and a few more linebackers and some corners because they're down one that retired. They're in trouble. So they only need like 9 pieces and they can be competitive. So maybe that'll happen in the next 2-3 years. We'll see. But until then, I can't pick them to win a game.
yeah, I think what did they had a stat out the other day. After the first 2 weeks, all the 0-2 teams, I think the Bills were the worst, had the worst odds to make the playoffs, and the Cardinals were right there in front of them. So,
Damn it, Arizona. Get away from our first round pick every time. Every time.
they're
It's
coming
happened in
for it.
hockey. Get off of football.
Yeah, I think what is it? So we use Yahoo, everybody, to do our picks this week, and 98% have picked Minnesota and 2% have picked Buffalo. So,
Yeah, those two people made mistakes and couldn't read their phone when they made their picks.
or they have no idea what's going on. I like Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, this one looks good.
All right, next up on the docket, we have the Indianapolis Colts going to Philadelphia to face the Eagles. Carson Wentz, first game back from tearing his ACL and MCL. I'm picking Indianapolis in this. The Eagles, even though they're getting Wentz back, he doesn't have anybody to throw to outside of Aguilar. They're banged up on running backs as well. JE went down. I think Clement is hurt now. He's questionable, right? I think that's what you read.
No. I think Clement is good. I think Corey
Okay,
Clement is good.
take that back.
Sproles and JJ
Sproles. That's
are
it.
out.
Sproles. Okay. So if Clement is available in your leagues, I would highly recommend picking him up. I do have Indianapolis winning this one. Indy has looked good. Their first 2 games, I think Andrew Luck is kind of getting more comfortable coming back from his injury. I just don't think Wentz is he's gonna be rusty. He's got to knock the rust off. Like I said, he doesn't have very many weapons to work with this week, and Indy's look, like I said, pretty good. So I'm gonna go with Indy this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna take Philly. I don't think Indy's defense. I think Indianapolis's defense is going to be a nice kind of ease in, I think, for Carson Wentz. He's not facing a great pass rush. He's not facing great corners. He's not facing great safeties. He can, with any luck, if he has time in the pocket, he'll be able to kind of settle in, I think, and get back to form. I'm not worried about the offense too much. I mean, Aguilar looks great, week in, week out. The guy, he's a workhorse. The guy, he plays hard every week. He does his job. He does really well. And Corey Clement, I think he's a fantastic running back. I think given more and more opportunity, he can get better and better. And we want to see him do well because he's a Mutt Force supporter. One of our friends over in Mutt Force.
Shout out.
Yeah, Mutt Force shout out. He's a fan. He supports that show, so we got to support him. So go Corey Clement. Go get like 3 touchdowns this week, buddy. I'll start you in DFS.
All right. Moving on. We got the Green Bay Packers going to Washington to take on the Redskins. Green Bay coming off the tie last week against the Vikings. Washington coming off a hot start to start the season against the Cardinals, although it is the Cardinals. They haven't looked good. Washington kind of laid an egg last week. I believe it was against the Colts. So I think Green Bay is going to go into Washington. I think they're going to lock it down. They're just too talented on both sides of the ball. Although it all is hinged off of Rodgers' knee. He says it is painful to play on it, We'll see how long he can keep it up. If he gets just hit the wrong way, that knee could be done for the season. So it's risky. I'm surprised they're
Mm.
still letting him play, not heal. But yeah, I got Green Bay as long as Rodgers is good. I know it's all hinged off of that, but I got Green Bay winning in Washington.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. If Rodgers plays, Green Bay wins. If he's out, there's no way Deshaun Kaiser is carrying this team on his own.
Yeah.
Um, for Washington, the offense just isn't doing that great. I mean, Alex Smith is Alex Smith. We know what he is. No surprises here. Efficient. He's got a 100 quarterback rating. 2 touchdowns so far, no picks. Normal Alex Smith. Adrian Peterson's getting 3.1 yards per carry. Got 116 yards through 2 games. 1 touchdown, one fumble loss. Nothing fantastic. But I think Peterson's going to get better and better as the season goes on. I don't think he's there yet to help carry this team past the 30 to 40 points that Green Bay is going to put up.
And so just a note here. I mean, a lot of people were really high on Peterson after week 1, but like I said last week, he's always come out of the gate swinging. But last week, 20 yards rushing. Like he had almost 100 yards week 1, looked great.
Yeah.
He did almost nothing last week. So I mean, it's typical Peterson. He's getting older. I get that. He had fresh legs. He did the same thing last year and the year before.
Right.
So that's why I just a note. I said I wasn't high on him. He hasn't done well. I luckily have Chris Thompson, who's looked great, especially in the backfield catching passes and whatnot. In a PPR league, he's great to have. All right, moving on. We have the Cincinnati Bengals going to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Cincinnati's looked good so far to start the year. AJ Green and Dalton are looking like they're a good duo. AJ Green had 3 touchdowns before the half last week.
Yeah, it was wild.
Cincinnati's just looking like a good team. But they always kind of seem to do this. They look really good, but they can't quite always put it together, especially when it matters. But it's still early in the season. Carolina's looked okay at best. But I got Cincinnati going into Carolina and taking the win.
Wow, we are completely opposite today. I'm taking Carolina at home. I think with Joe Mixon being out for Cincinnati, I think that's a big blow to them. The drop off between Mixon and Gio Bernard, I think, is massive. So I'm not expecting, great things out of the backfield. Not that I ever do actually out of Carolina either, but I think going on the road, being down your starting running back, I think that's a big blow to Cincinnati for, just like you said, kind of a middle of the road kind of team that's always decent and competitive, but never, blows you away as one of the top teams in the league. So I'm going with Carolina this week.
Okay. So is it like a third game that we mismatched on?
Yeah, there's a lot. So Tide might be swinging there,
week.
Buddy, or I might be done by week 3.
Let's see. Cincinnati is the underdog for this week, so that's 3 underdogs I picked for this week.
Yeah, you got a lot of underdogs this week.
Team underdog. Moving on, we got the Tennessee Titans going to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Jacksonville, uncharacteristically put up a lot of points last week on offense. Apparently what they have done is they've incorporated more play action to help Bortles adjust with a slow windup. So it looks like it paid off last week. They looked really good. I think this is a no-brainer. Tennessee still doesn't know if they're going to have Mariota back. Blaine Gabbert's just not a good QB. I think it's easy. I think Jacksonville's just going to win this one at home this week.
Yeah, and I'm in the same. I don't think we have to cover this too long. I think Jacksonville runs away with this one. Tennessee has a mediocre defense. I don't think it's going to be enough to stop Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a great defense that if Mariota is not playing, and it's Blaine Gabbert, it's going to be lights out early, I think.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We have my Denver Broncos going to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Historically, the last several years, Denver has not done well going to Baltimore. Denver looked really bad last week on offense. They were slow to get going. I don't know what they were thinking. Oakland had no pass rush, but they were still trying to do these quick 10-yard plays instead of just letting Keenum drop back and throw it deep. Once they realized that, they came out swinging in the second half. But the defense worries me a little bit. They're doing this zone. They're giving the receivers too much cushion, and Carr made them pay for it with these quick throws, moving down the field, not giving the pass rush enough time to get to the quarterback. So, Broncos head coach, wow, brain fart, has come out calling out the defensive coordinator Joe Woods. And they said they're going to make some adjustments. That secondary is too good to let that happen. They got to press the receivers off the line and give that pass rush some time to get to the quarterback. You got Von Miller and Chubb, Derek Wolfe. You have studs on that linebacker core that can get to the quarterback. So Baltimore's also got some pretty good receivers. You know, not elite, but they got Crabtree. They got who is it? John Brown, and who's the other guy? Snead from the Saints last year. And you still got Flacco, who's, you know, he's still not a bad quarterback. They're a little bit banged up at running back. Who is it? Alex Collins was sick a lot of this week. They got Buck Allen, who, you know, has always kind of been serviceable. So, unfortunately, I am going against my Broncos this week. I think Baltimore's going to pull off the win. Denver, if they can put the complete game together, I think they can pull it off. But they've been shaky now, you know, and now Seattle doesn't look like a solid win after their starts. And then Oakland, I think they got lucky with their win last week. So I got Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm taking Baltimore also. Denver's been a little lackluster for me this year. You know, I expected the defense to come out, you know, a little stronger than it has. I'm waiting to see more out of Chubb. He's played okay, not great. You know, I'm just waiting to see more for them, I think, to kind of click together a little bit more. Yeah. Baltimore, I mean, I know they lost last week, but, you know, they were on a short week. I think they kind of, or no, not, were they on short week or did they play Monday night last week? I don't remember. Either way, it wasn't a normal Sunday afternoon game. It was something different. I remember watching it, and they were kind of beside themselves last week. I was a little disappointed in their performance.
Yeah, they had the Thursday night game last week.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, they were on a short week. I don't think they ever play well in the prime time. I think when they, you know, Sunday afternoon, they play better. And Baltimore is one of these teams. It seems like every year that they go through, they make the playoffs, then they don't make the playoffs, and they make the playoffs and they don't. They're always at this, you know, they usually don't have two like bad non-playoff years in a row. I think last year was actually the first time they did it, 2 years where they didn't make it in a row. I expect them to bounce back and be a playoff team at some point this year. If Flacco can play, you know, at least moderate football, I think they can be in the playoffs. But for this game, I think, you know, Denver going to Baltimore, that's a tough trip. I think Baltimore wins this at home.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's an early game for the Broncos too. They don't. I mean, it's a 10 a.m. start for us on the West Coast.
Right.
But yeah, I'm sorry. I know I love my Broncos. I really do hope they pull it off. But, you know, as I head, you know, thinking that I think Baltimore's going to win. Yeah. Let's see, what do we got? We got the New York Giants going to Houston to take on the Texans. I already feel bad. I think Eli's just going to get punished. He got punished last week, and the Texans have a really good defensive front. I think this is a no-brainer. But, I mean, okay, maybe not a no-brainer because Deshaun Watson hasn't looked that great this season. I don't know what's going on, but he's just not what he was last season. But I just think it's easy. New York is still kind of hurting, trying to figure out what's going on. I think the Texans win.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Texans as well. I'm in the same boat. I'm really looking forward. Like, I'm waiting for Deshaun Watson to kind of take that step and back towards what he was last season. I don't know if he's hesitant. I don't know if the knee still bothers him a little bit or if he's afraid he's going to re-injure it. But he seems much more hesitant. He doesn't run nearly as much. He's not making the throws that he was last year. I know his receivers have been a little banged up too. I think Will Fuller was just cleared on the injury report today. He was questionable. I think he's marked healthy today. So maybe that'll help. You know, maybe the guys have been dinged up and that's slowing them down, throwing timing off. I don't know. The Giants, another team with a bad offensive line, and bad offensive lines will destroy your team from the inside out. And that's where they're at right now. That's why, I mean, if you look at Barkley's been playing great as a receiver. The guy had 14 catches last week and but almost no yards on the ground. Like, they has 14 catches on, you know, so I don't expect a whole lot of the Giants until they can fix the front line.
Yeah, they went against the Cowboys last week. Barkley only had 28 yards rushing. But yeah, 14 catches for 80 yards. That's it's
Yeah.
insane. So that's just, I mean, Eli just trying to get rid of it. You know, he's
Right. Yeah, that's the sign of a bad line. He's in trouble and has to dump it off. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll take it. I mean, that's a crazy number, right? I think the highest number of catches in a game is 16. Like he came really, really close to breaking some of these records last week. But 14 catches out of the backfield. That's a sign that your line is giving you no time to throw. I know those are not designed swing plays. Maybe four of them, but teams usually don't call that 10 times. Well, the Jets did. The Jets did last week. They put 25 screen passes last week
yeah.
or on Thursday night.
Uh,
But for a veteran quarterback, that's not normal.
Fun fact: the record is 21 catches, and it was by
Oh,
Brandon
21.
Marshall for the Broncos. Him
Oh,
and
what do you
Kyle
know?
Orton.
Wow.
I remember that game. All right, moving on. We got the Battle of Los Angeles this week. We have the Chargers going to the Rams. Short car ride. This could be a good game. You know, the Chargers do have a good offense. Los Angeles, I think it's just, I mean, the Rams are just a better overall team, I believe. I have the Rams winning this one. I hope that it's a good game. Los Angeles is I can't say Los Angeles because they're both Los Angeles. The Rams had a good game or a pretty easy game last week with the Cardinals. The Cardinals put up like no fight. So I think they're going to have a little bit more on their hands this week with the Chargers coming in. I have Rivers on my fantasy team, and I I benched him this week because I don't know, I'm scared. I don't want to put him up against the Rams, but we'll see. Hopefully, it's a good game. It is it would be an upset if the Chargers won because Yahoo has them 93% are picking the Rams and 7% are picking the Chargers. So
yeah, that's rough. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think the Rams are just an all around better team. I still hate the fact these guys are both in LA. I'm not used to it. Go back to where you belong. But I think the Rams they're a better overall team. LA is still, or oh my God, did it too.
See
The Chargers. The Chargers are still struggling on defense. Lacking Joey Bosa is a big loss for them. I know they beat up on the Bills pretty good, but again, that was the Bills. I expect Phillip Rivers to miss more than 3 passes this week, going up against a stout defense in the Rams.
All right, moving on. We have the Chicago Bears coming to Arizona, the game that you're going to this week on your trip out here. We kind of touched base with it at the start of the show. Arizona's offense is struggling. Mike McCoy's offense is a little bit too complex, and it's hurting the team a little bit. So they're dumbing it down. They're going to get David Johnson more involved. If Bradford doesn't turn it around this week, I think Rosen's definitely going to get his chance to come in and see what we can do or what he can do.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. I hope that happens.
Yeah, to see that in person. So,
yeah,
Mac, see if he continues his dominance. I am going to go with the upside. I really think Arizona's going to turn it around this week. The Bears aren't that great of a team. Mac has definitely, stood out, but, they still got Trubisky, who's an okay quarterback, but but they don't really have that many weapons outside of Howard. Who else do they have? Allen Robinson, I think.
For receiver, Allen Robinson, Jordan Howard are their 2 top receivers. Taylor Gabriel's in there with 9 catches so far, but only for 50 yards. I mean, they got, but the ball's getting spread around a lot. There's a lot of guys that are catching the ball. I don't know. The offense is still, it needs some time.
Yeah, I am going with Arizona this week though. I'm going to pick the underdog. It's definitely an underdog because Yahoo has it at 90% Chicago, 10% Arizona. So I'm definitely in the minority this week, but I really think they can turn it around. It's just the team's too talented to be this bad.
Right.
So yeah, I'm guessing you're going with the Bears.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bears this week. Not because I want to, right? Arizona, please don't set me on fire when I come down there and hang out in your parking lot with you guys. I want Arizona to win. I'm going to this game. I want Arizona to win. But in a prime game for me to come down here and see this game would be for David Johnson to score a gazillion points, for University of Buffalo alumni Khalil Mack to get 10 sacks, and for Josh Rosen to start the game at halftime. Like, that's perfect for me, right? And then I want Rosen to come in and not get sacked and throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns and win the game. Uh, Ideally, that's like my fantasy game. You know what I mean? This is what I want to see on Sunday. So I want Arizona to win, but I think Bradford hesitates too much in the pocket, and I think Khalil Mack's going to eat him alive because of it.
Okay.
So I got to go with the Bears based solely on Khalil Mack facing the offensive line of Arizona. Unless, I mean, maybe we see a lot of swing passes out to David Johnson this week. Maybe that's going to be their game plan to get Johnson the ball and get the ball away from Khalil Mack. You know, that might be a good game plan. Maybe they go that route and that could turn it around. But for our betting purposes, for our head-to-head competitiveness here, I'm going to take the Bears.
Okay. Game on. All right, moving on. We have the Dallas Cowboys going to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. We touched base on this a little bit at the start of the show in our NFL news segment. Seattle not looking good at all.
Yeah.
They've been banged up. KJ Wright's been out. I think he's still out. They got Bobby Wagner. They're getting Bobby Wagner back this week.
Yeah, that's huge.
That is huge for them. However, they still aren't going to have Baldwin. The offensive line still is atrocious. And Dallas, I think, has, they have a really good defensive front. I think they're going to have their way. I think Ifedi is doomed for his third week in a row. That poor guy's been abused by Von Miller and Mack. So I have Dallas going into Seattle this week and winning against the Seahawks and dropping Seattle to 0-3.
Oof. Yeah, no, I think Seattle gets their first win this week. I think Seattle gets a win. Yeah, we're way off this week. We're vastly different. We're like a 10-game swing this week.
Yeah.
Go big or go home. This is it, guys. Yeah, I don't trust. I still don't trust Dak Prescott. I mean, he averages 165 yards a game, has 1 touchdown so far. I can't get on board with that kind of quarterback. I mean, even Zeke is 147 yards total this season. I don't trust him. I don't think he's, great. I mean, granted, Seattle's ground game we talked about before. Chris Carson's got 50 yards or 75 yards on the ground. Rashad Penny's got 38.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they haven't broken barely 100 yards on the ground combined yet. But Russell Wilson's throwing for almost 300 yards a game. That can win you football games. I know he's got a couple picks, but also has 5 touchdowns. So if they can pull this off, if they can keep Russell Wilson on his feet and give him some time, I think they can pick apart the secondary of the Cowboys. And I mean, I think with Bobby Wagner coming out, I think he's gonna be lurking around and giving Dak Prescott some fits out there and some disguise coverages and some inside blitzes. I'm going to take Seattle. We'll see how they go out. And we need Disley to come out another 100-yard game. That's what we need.
Nah, we're good. Okay, so another disagreement for the week.
Yeah.
I like it. So, all right, moving on. We have the New England Patriots going to Detroit to take on the Lions.
Detroit. No, I'm kidding. Obviously,
we have Belichick going on to take on Matt Patricia, who was the Patriots defensive coordinator for the last couple of seasons. Did Detroit win last week? I think, or are they 0-2 so far to start the year?
They are.
They lost last week to the Niners, 30-27.
They are 0-2.
Yep,
yeah,
they're 0-2. I think they're going to be 0-3 after this week.
Oh yeah, obviously.
They're a mess. I think Matt Patricia's already kind of lost control of that locker room a little bit. Doesn't have the respect of the players. It's been news so far already. And just overall, New England's just a better overall team. They're a little shaky on defense, but when you got Tom Brady behind that line, slinging the football around, you always have a good chance to win. So I got New England this week. It's an easy one.
Yeah, I know. Same story every week. New England's just the going to be the better team this week. Detroit's they need some work. There's some work to be had there. Pat Patricia coming back. I don't think Belichick's going to, let him have his way at all.
Yeah.
So I fully expect New England to take this one pretty handily.
I wonder what Belichick's record is going against his, former coaching staff. The only one that I know.
Well, it's got to be great. It's got to be great. None of his other former coaching staff ever does any well once they become head coaches.
Well, Josh McDaniels, when he was with the Broncos, I remember the first time he went up against Belichick, they beat the Patriots.
Wow.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's been so many, Belichick coaches that have played in or coached in the league.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. I wonder if I can find that stat somewhere because I am intrigued to see what that is.
Right.
All right. Moving on. Oh, that is a Sunday night game, by the way. Next one is
Yeah.
the Monday night
It's the prime
matchup.
time.
We had the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Tampa Bay to take on Fitzmagic and the Bucks. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain what Fitzpatrick is doing so far.
It's
He's
magical.
playing
I
out of his
love it.
mind.
It's magic. I love it.
Fitzmagic.
He's living up to the name.
By the way, side note, was it Minka Fitzpatrick of the Dolphins has copyrighted Fitzmagic.
Come
he
on.
actually came out because with all this going on, he claims he's been called that since high school. But he's trying to get a copyright on it. But moving on.
Well, Ryan Fitzpatrick has been called that in the NFL since before he was born.
I don't know, man. I'm just reporting. I think this is going to be the shootout of the week. Pittsburgh's defense is mediocre at best. They've been shredded. They got shredded last week by Mahomes. If Tampa Bay keeps it up, they're going to do the same thing. And Pittsburgh is going to be trying to play catch up. So I do have Pittsburgh winning this week. They're finally going to get in the win column. I think Roethlisberger is going to have a great game. I think Fitzmagic is going to take a step back. I don't think he can keep this up. It's insane what he's doing. Track record has proven that he just doesn't do this. So we'll see. I think this is going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be another high-scoring game. But yeah, I got Pittsburgh going into Tampa Bay and winning.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. It's going to be a shootout. I think Roethlisberger is going to. This is such a great game, right? This game features two quarterbacks that both average 400 yards a game.
I'm excited to watch
2 weeks. The difference is Fitzpatrick has 8 touchdowns and 1 interception, and Roethlisberger has 4 touchdowns, 3 picks.
Yep.
I think Fitz keeps it going, man. I think Tampa Bay keeps on moving. I mean, there's no reason for me to doubt for him to slow down, and Fitz has played, I think, pretty similar defenses so far in the Saints. And then who did they beat last week? I was surprised.
The Bucks. Was it the Eagles?
No, he's on the Bucks. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I think Roethlisberger is going to be throwing from behind. I think Tampa's defense isn't that great, so he's going to get his yards. You can't. I don't ever count Roethlisberger out, especially when he's throwing to Smith-Schuster and Antonio Brown. I think Antonio Brown gets going this week. I think he's going to have a good game. But I think the offense for Tampa Bay is just on fire right now. Like, these guys are just, they're playing way beyond their abilities, right? Even with Deshaun Jackson's been banged up, doesn't matter. Mike Evans on the other side of the field. Yeah, the guy's 100 years old. He's playing like he's 18.
Deshaun Jackson.
OJ Howard comes out of nowhere. Mike Evans has 17 catches in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, it's unreal.
Deshaun Jackson had 4 receptions. What was that? 4 receptions for 129 yards.
Yeah, for the season, he has 9 catches for 275 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it's unbelievable. But I see no reason for it to stop. Pittsburgh's been shredded up all season long by decent quarterbacks. What Mahomes did to them last week, I think Fitz is going to carry on to this week. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think everybody gets points, right? I think if you have anybody on your fantasy team from Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay, you have to play them this week. Minus the defense. Get those guys out of your lineup. Do not touch them this week. Any offensive players have to play. I think it's going to be this. I can't wait. Monday night's going to be great. I already can't wait. Yeah.
All right, so that does it for our head-to-head picks. We got a lot of disagreements this week, so I'm definitely excited to see.
For the record, definitely taking Tampa Bay there, if that wasn't clear.
So that's another one. So what did we disagree on? I think I had New Orleans, you had Atlanta, right?
I do have Atlanta, yes.
I have Indy, you have Eagles?
Yep.
I have Cincinnati, you have Carolina?
True.
Okay. I have Arizona, you have Chicago.
Yep.
I have Dallas, you have Seattle. And I have Pittsburgh, you have Tampa. So
yeah, that's a lot.
You might catch up this
season around, boys.
So all right, guys, that does it for a head-to-head segment. All right, everybody. Next segment is our Madden news segment. This is where Kay loves to shine. He is the MUT guru, auction house master. So yeah, Kay, floor is yours.
Yeah, guys, I mean, what a couple of days here. Series 2 is here. That's the big news everybody's waiting for. I know everybody's really counting on this huge promo. I know some guys sold off their team to prep for it. Guys were stocking up on pieces here and there. And then, we get to the reveal yesterday, and I don't want to say it felt like a letdown because they did. I mean, the EA team, I think, is doing a fantastic job this year with content and how much is coming out. I think timeline wise, according to older Maddens, we were expecting a promo right now. For all I know, one drops on Tuesday. Like maybe they're going to blow us out of the water and something's going to come, out of the blue. You never know. I mean, that's the fun thing about new Maddens. Each year when the first we're waiting for the first, big promo to come out, either Heroes or Chem 101 or something along those lines. It's not here yet, so we're still just kind of waiting. We had Ultimate Kickoff. That's great. It's a decent promo. Wasn't not the biggest. Gatorade, same thing, kind of gimmicky. Nothing too crazy. Waiting for our first like really really big set of 20 new players. Didn't happen, but with Series 2, we got some good stuff. We got some great stuff. I'm stoked about Series 2. First off, there's a new gauntlet, right? Everyone loves to hate the gauntlet. You go through, you can get some good players out of the gauntlet. There's some packs in there to get. There's new veteran gauntlet players to get. We'll start down the line with those guys. Kicking it off first, who I think is probably the go-to guy to get out of this, is going to be center Jason Kelsey, with some concerns, right? This card is not perfect. He has some flaws. He shines in some spots. Some of the spots he's a little hurting in. 92 run block, that's great. He's got 70 speed, 82 strength. That's fine. 92 awareness, great. 84 pass block, though.
Yeah,
that's a concern, right?
low.
84 pass block. Yeah, that's real low. But on the flip side, he has a power up. With his power up, I think he goes up to 90 or 91. You can put secure pass blocker on him. All of a sudden, I don't care he has 84 pass block. That secure pass blocker is going to be enough to carry you over. We're going to be fine up the middle. Especially with guys like, Vita Vea, I don't think he's going to eat him alive up the middle anymore with secure pass blocker on. So if you're going to go with a card, if you take Jason Kelsey as your veteran gauntlet player, I think hands down, I'm not a big guy on power-ups. You guys that follow me on Twitch and Twitter, you know that I don't like power-up cards. But if you're going to go with Jason Kelsey, I think you have to put secure pass blocker on him. It shouldn't cost you a ton. I can't imagine getting, this guy up to 90 is going to be brutal for you. And a lot of guys worry because his 83 overall card shot up to like 70,000 coins when they announced this. You have a power-up pass sitting in your binder that you've had no reason to use yet. Use it on this guy. If you're going to use it, now's the time to go ahead and use it. Don't spend 70K on an 83 overall player. It's not worth it. The card's worth like 13K max. Next up is left guard Roger Stafford.
Saffold.
I mean, Staffold. Why do I say Stafford every time? Roger Staffold.
Saffold. No T.
Saffold. That's why I couldn't find it on my head earlier. I can't spell or read. Jesus. I have a good friend of mine. His last name is Roger. He's Roger Stafford. I think that's why I keep doing it. But this is Roger Saffold. Keep seeing the wrong name. Yeah, way easier to search Mutthead if you type in someone's actual name. If you search for a real person, they're way easier to find. Roger Saffold, left guard. Not a bad card. I mean, also not the greatest. I mean, if you're hurting for left guards, I don't think you should be. There's a handful of other guys out there. I use Steve Hutchinson full legend. I know that's not an option for everybody. But if you need a left guard, if you need a decent lineman, he's okay. He only has 59 speed. That's really going to hurt you. I know a lot of guys run a lot of plays with pulling guards. Not your guy. Then if you're going to run, a wildcat formation or, some kind of power run, you can't use this guy. He's not going to be fast enough to get out there. His lead block is only a 73. That's going to get you killed out there. Same thing though. Also only 87 pass block. I know that sounds decent, but it's not going to be enough against the defensive ends and the new legends that came out today. They're going to destroy these guys in the line. So again, not another card that I'm super excited about. Speaking of defensive ends, Cameron Hayward is out left end. again, another okay card. These guys, all of these cards, they seem to be okay. They kind of remind me of like the Heroes cards from last year, where they had some great stats. Where at first look, you're like, oh my god, look at this. He has 92 hit power. You go, oh, he has 15 block shed. So they all have like these glaring issues here. Same thing with Cameron Hayward. Left end 69 speed. If you have played Madden for 10 seconds this year, you know that if your ends are not fast enough, even if they beat their guy, it's like they just stand still and look at the quarterback as he runs outside of the pocket.
Oh, there he goes.
I've had it happen. Yeah, I've had it happen. Like your left end can win off the end. Your end beats your guy. You're like, yes, I'm getting a sack. And then he stops and goes, well, what do we do now? It boggles my mind. So I can't really support Cameron Hayward here. I mean, I don't know, if you really need somebody just to fill a line somewhere, if you're just a solo guy and you're running mid blitz every time and you just need a body to sit in the middle, or not in the middle but on the line, then maybe. But other than that, I can't really condone using him. On the offensive side of the ball, we have our other offensive guy here, Lamar Miller, 89 Lamar Miller. Okay card, kind of falls in line with some of the other free running backs we have so far. Decent 89 speed, 89 excel. Not really a power runner, more of an elusive kind of guy. Okay, very okay catching stats. But anybody who's used him so far, he only has 85 break tackle, right? And the dice roll this year for fumbles, if you're going to fumble on especially a hit stick, it's break tackle versus hit power. 85 isn't going to cut it. We're already seeing guys coming in with hit power a lot higher than this. I'm afraid of him getting hit and just dropping the ball immediately. A lot of guys complain about his flashback card that he gets breathed on and the ball comes out. So yeah, I'm not.
Didn't you
I'm
say
not
Saquon
really
Barkley
going
had
with
the
this
same
guy.
issue?
Yeah, Barkley's got the same thing, man. Almost exactly the same. I think his is actually a little bit lower. I think it might be like an 83. So I moved on from Barkley pretty quick. Everybody's excited to get this great, 89 speed running back right out of the gate for free for those who did the rookie premiere last year, or if you bought the card this year. And then quickly you find those flaws. You find out that this dice roll, it really matters, especially in head-to-head and competitive play. You can't hold up well enough, with those cards for very long. They can make great plays for you, but in the long run, they're, when you need it, that's usually when he ends up coughing the ball up and it eats you up inside. So I'm probably going to pass on Lamar Miller, not a card I'm really, really digging for. Last, we have Brian Arakpo, right outside linebacker. I mean, I don't know, 78 speed. He's only got 77 block shed though for a linebacker. That's not really what I'm looking for. If he was if he was a coverage linebacker, I'm not worried about 77 block shed. That doesn't kill me. But he's only got 76 zone, so he's not even a coverage linebacker. 76 zone, 69 man. I don't know what this card's supposed to do other than sit there in the middle of the field and get torched the whole time. So I'm not feeling this card at all. He can't play on the line and he can't play coverage. 78 speed, 76 zone. You're going to get blown past by, if somebody's get Tyreek Hill in the slot against Brian Arakpo. If I ever see that in a head-to-head game, I'm just going to throw it every time. Like I'm going to throw it to Tyreek Hill on a streak every time up the seam, and Arakpo is going to be left in the dust. So I think this guy is unfortunately just not going to cut it. So even if you don't like these guys, I mean the plus side of this though, I think it's 800 quick sell for him. So I mean, do your gauntlets. You know what I mean? You get this guy. It's 800 quick sell. What do you got to lose?
Yeah.
And there's other packs in there too, right? It's not just these guys. That there's a couple other packs you get out of doing the gauntlet. I haven't done mine yet. I'll get to it at some point. But do your gauntlets. Get your solos out of the way. It's a good way to get some training points up, and grab a couple other packs along the way. So don't neglect them. Next, for Series 2, a nice cap increase. We go to level 60 this time. I know there's been some leaks that have come out that looks like we're going up to level 80 at some point. That's going to be great. Some people thought that was coming yesterday. That didn't happen. We did jump up to level 60 though. Level 60 though gives us a nice little jump, right? First and foremost, Ricky Williams. I don't know if you guys are you using Ricky Rhino? Are you using? You're
I'm
not level
powering him
50 yet,
up,
are
but
you?
yeah, I'm not. I don't have him quite there.
Yeah, I'm at level 50, and I'm using the 90 overall. He's fantastic. For a free card, he's great. To be able to get him to, I think he goes to 94 now.
Yeah, with the
That's
cap
going to
increase.
be, yeah, with the cap increase 60, I think he goes to 94. I'm looking forward to that. On top of increasing Ricky Williams, though, we also have there's other perks that go along, right? So every couple levels you get some stuff. Level 51, you get a couple elite player bundles. Level 53, 800 training quick sell. Level 55, another elite legend combo bundle. I don't even know what that is, but I'm already excited about it. 57, another 800 training quick sell. Level 59, another elite legend combo bundle, and level 60, a 90 to 91 power up pass. That's fantastic. Like, there's not even that many guys right now that you can use that on. You know, I mean, this is going to be a big deal down the road. And the great part is if you don't like it, you can then take it off of the guy and use it somewhere else. But the downside of that is you lose the training points in between that. So that's what I keep saying about I don't like using the training points, because if you put that into somebody, then you decide that you don't want to use him anymore. You're going to lose, 60% of those training points to power that guy back down. With the 9, you don't lose the 91 pass. At least that's a good thing. But the points, I'm hesitant to just blow through kind of, vicariously, or not being. I want to be a little bit more cautious with my
Yeah.
with my training points than that. We also get new. They're upping the weekly training camp solos. Every week there's these weekly training camp solos. Nobody does them because they're a waste of time. It's when I think 5 games. I think they're 5 moments, and I think there were like 50 training points to do them. That's such a waste of time. They've upped those now based on your level cap. At level 60, those training camp solos are now give you 125 training. Not a ton.
Not bad.
But it's better than 50. Yeah, it's not bad, right? 5, if it's 5 quick moments for 125 training, I don't know. I might do those. I might not too. It all depends. I think training points are going to become more and more available as the year goes on. So I'm not in a mad dash to go get them. Yeah, they're just like contracts, I think, were last year. Because we also saw another leak that it looks like at some point in the year, that Wheel of Training, the set that you can turn in a couple gold tokens and a couple silver tokens for a shot at some random amount of training, is going up to 1 million training points. Not
That's
confirmed.
insane.
I don't know. We don't know this for sure, but the leaks have come out that wheel is set to come out for 1 million training. Granted, I'm sure it's a 0.00001 chance of getting 1 million training. But if you pull 1 million training out of that,
they're set.
I would just go, yeah, you're set. I would go build every primetime card for the rest of the year just to try. I mean, why not? What's 4,500 training points? Who cares at that point? If you got 1 million. Every guy on my team is going to be powered up to the max just because. But yeah, that's going to be great. I hope that comes true, right? And I'm gonna stock up on gold and silver tokens. If that ever does happen, I'm gonna sit literally on stream for about 5 straight hours and do nothing but those sets.
Oh man,
just because I will lose my mind and do a backflip off of this chair if it happens. We will go Bill's Mafia on my own desk if that happens. It'll be wild. Yeah, the other series 2, also with the series 2 drop, our trophies changed. Your head-to-head trophies have changed. We have a new series 2 master in Telvin Smith. The guy looks great. We've had so many good linebackers come out lately, though. It's been wild. They changed it a little bit. They tweaked it. It is 110 trophies to get an auctionable version, or you can just drop in 55 trophies and get a nat version. Not a bad deal. 55 trophies, guys. Even if you don't play a lot of head-to-head, let's say you just do your solo battles and you just do like your weekly the squad challenge games. You're looking at, if you hit ultimate anyway in the solo battles, you're looking at, I think it's 15 a week, 15 trophies a week just from doing those 2.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to go out and get Telvin Smith net, you're looking at a pretty solid player for basically just playing some games that you were going to play anyway. So I think it's worth it. Along with the trophies, we have a new Coach Madden, Tier 2 Coach Madden. He's not a new card, right? So our theories were confirmed. you need the Series 1 Coach John Madden to start off your John Madden journey here. That's going to take some time. He's 200 trophies, right? But same thing. If you're getting 15 a week without even playing head to head, so if you play any head to head, which I know if you know most of you guys are, if you're playing any head to head, you're going to get those 200 in no time. Especially counting 15 a week from that stuff. So you need 200 for John Madden, the base card. It takes another 100 Series 2 trophies to get a collectible to put in to power him up to the next level. That's really not bad. An extra 100, if it's an extra 100 trophies per series to get John Madden powered up, I think by the end of the year, we're going to see a lot of people with fully maxed out John Maddens. If you guys played squads last year towards the end of the year, going up against 3 Coach John Maddens was a nightmare. Everybody on the other team had 99 speed and 99 catch. And if you didn't, and you had one poor corner at like 95 speed, you were just like, well,
Oof,
we lost.
that's
It's
rough,
over.
man.
It did. It was even like your linemen are coming at you at 94 speed.
That's
You're like, what do I do
insane.
here? It was fantastic. It was great. It was a lot of fun. um, if you had that, but like I had Coach Madden last year all powered up. So it was like I'm, on that drive to get him again this year. I know some people complain he doesn't seem worth it right now. Trust me, by mid-season, if you're, rocking a Coach Madden that's giving your entire team a +2 speed, +3 catch, +3 spin move, +2 juke, that makes a big, big difference, halfway through the year. So don't neglect these. If you don't want to and you want to do the other sets, 55 trophies, I think, for an 80 to 90 or 80, 87 to 90 overall player. I mean, have at it, go nuts. But I think, especially, I think if you plan on playing competitive late into the year, to the Super Bowl time frame and beyond, I think Coach John Madden is the way to go.
Okay.
We also, yeah, I think so. Anyway, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, you don't need him. It's not a card that you need to have, but it's nice, especially when we start. If you're one of those guys who really likes to grind to get like a 99 overall team, having that Coach Madden helps to push your guys there so much faster.
Okay.
Like I know last year it was really tough early to get some of those. It took a while to get a 99 overall team in Madden 18 without a fully tier 3 John Madden. So we also have new flashback and heavyweight sets, right? So these disappeared for a minute. For a minute there were actually 2 different sets in the store. I think it's down to just one now. I think this is going to be a good coin making opportunity. I think this is going to change the market a little bit, and we're going to see for the first time on Monday how it goes. Me too, because this week was not great for Legends.
No.
We'll touch on that in a minute. So the flashback and heavyweight sets, it now takes 2 elite tokens to go into these sets. It used to be just 1 elite token, I think 1 gold one elite token, 2 golds, and 4 silvers for the flashback set, I believe. The heavyweights were a little bit less, and now it takes 2 elite tokens in each of these. That's a lot, right? That's an extra. I mean, you're talking an extra 70,000 coins, 80,000 coins per elite token right now to build. That's a lot of coins to go into one of these sets. What they did to make it kind of worth it is they dropped off the lower 2 guys, right? So the 87 flashback players are gone. You can no longer pull Lamar Miller out of a flashback set. You can no longer pull Whitney Merciless out of a flashback
those
set.
are the only 2
That's
guys I've
great
ever
news.
gotten.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's great news. You can finally, you're guaranteed to pull at least an 88 overall flashback player. And the heavyweight guys, I think it's the same thing. They dropped off the 2 lowest tier guys. So that's great news. Downside, elite tokens now cost more. Yep. So, not only do you need more elite tokens also cost more. They require an extra 80 to 81 overall player. That's not a big jump. You can buy these cards. We buy them all the time for under 8,000 coins,
Easy.
And sell them for considerably more than that. That's going to add up though over time, right? Some people don't notice that, right? Some of you guys are really in tune with the game. You watch Twitter, you watch EA's live streams, when things change immediately. That is, I think, a really small percentage of the players of this game, right? So come Monday, when guys go to log in and they go, ooh, new flashbacks, I want it. And they get in there, they're going to go, huh, I need 2 elites now, huh? Some people, it's going to be brand new to them. They're like, oh, crap, I need 2 elite tokens. They go to make a new elite token. They go, what do you mean I need 3 of these cards? I needed 2 last week. That causes a stir in the marketplace. I think we're going to have a good coin making opportunity. come Monday.
I mean, I
I
hope
think.
so. I mean,
Yeah,
after
I hope so.
today with the legend market, I was kind of salty. I put all my
Yeah,
coins into buying legends this week because typically on Saturdays the market for legends is higher. Not the case this week with the new legends, so I'm hoping because I am
yeah,
stocked with 8081s from buying them this week. So, yeah,
right.
I hope this works, man, because I can make some. We all can make some coin this week. Um,
Yeah, I think it's going to
with
be a
this
good
new
time for it.
with this new changeup.
Yeah. If you guys don't know what Rhino's talking about, so what we normally do for making coins, at least it's happened the last 3 weeks in a row. I think we were able to make a lot of coins off of legend cards, right?
Hmm.
Because when they released that set where you can put in 5 version 1 to 3 legends and get a version 4 or 5 card, those low cards, even the 82 overall legend cards, spiked up to 30,000 coins. Excuse me, on Saturdays. That didn't happen this week. I don't know why. It just didn't. People, I think, fell out of love with it. Maybe the legends weren't that great. Maybe people spent a ton of them last week for Lawrence Taylor, who I added to my team today, and he's worth it. Um, so either, I mean, cards they spiked up. So we would buy the cards, buy your legend cards like 22,000 coins, right? 22,000 under during the week. Saturday they would spike up to 30. They didn't happen this week. They went up to 29 for about 45 minutes, and they started dropping again to 28, then 27. They settled on around 26,000. So we didn't lose money, right? We didn't lose coins. We broke even, but it felt like a loss because we were expecting to make 800, 900, a million coins. Ended up, what did you make? 500,000 coins today, somewhere around there.
After selling everything, I am because I started the week off before I started buying all the legends and elites. I was at 940K, went all the way down to 2K, and now I'm sitting at 910K.
Okay, so you're almost there.
Yeah.
But so it sounds like he's at a loss, right? That's not the case though, because it mixed in between those legend cards, we also buy core elite cards. You buy not just core elites, but 80 to probably 83. Right? I don't really mess with the 8045s. If they're
Yeah.
there, I'll grab them. But I don't expect those cards to go up and down too much. They stay between 26 and 30 just about every day. But your 80 to 81 cards fluctuate greatly, especially needing more of them to go into this pack. There's going to be more of them coming out of the auction house on Monday when people realize this and they go, "Oh, I need these now." So we bought a ton of. I think I have 90 of them to sell on Monday. Um, I bought them all for 8,000 or less. Most of them for 7,000 or less, but
Yep.
8,000 or less is my kind of dip because I know at a minimum I can sell them for 10,000 on Monday. Every Monday they have not been less than 10,000 coins. On a good week, they go to 12. This week, I'm gonna think. I think could be that day. So if I'm making 4,000 coins per 80 to 81 overall card, that's a big chunk of coins. So like I said, Rhino's down 50,000 coins still. How many coins? How many cards do you have left to sell on Monday still?
67.
67. He's got 67 cards. So let's say on the low end, right? Let's say on the low end, he only makes $2,000 per card. $2,000. He's still up 120,000 coins this week for literally. I mean, it doesn't take, guys. You can do this in, I don't know, right? What do you think you can make these cards? I mean, it sounds like a lot of cards, right? 60 something cards. Honestly, on Friday afternoons, Friday evenings, you can do this in probably an hour and a half.
Yeah, I mean, I
60
spent
cards. I don't
basically
think.
the whole
I
stream
mean,
on Friday just buying cards. I peppered
right?
in some solos and whatnot, just kind of mix it up a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah,
spent a couple
yeah.
hours
So
browsing it. I mean, it was easy. It was easy pickings this week for whatever reason. Yeah, I mean, you and I were both buying cards for easily less than
yeah,
8K. I had a ton that I was buying at 6K. So
right.
great profit this week. Hopefully it works out. This is all speculation, but like what Kay's saying with the new flashbacks and heavyweights, it should. The market shows it should. But I know we were burned
Yeah,
this weekend with the Legends, so we'll see what happens.
yeah. Hopefully it comes back. Like I said, we didn't lose out. I
No,
didn't.
I mean,
I actually stopped selling my legend cards today because they weren't selling. I was at the point where I was going to break even. So instead, I put them into those version 1 to 5 cards, and I pulled 390 overall. Jonathan Ogden, 89 Champ Bailey, 89
your luck is
Barry
ridiculous,
Sanders.
man.
So yeah, no. In one day, I added in Larry Allen, Jonathan Ogden, Mike Green, and Lawrence Taylor. And I might spend the extra 100,000 coins and go buy or build Barry Sanders today because why not? Um, makes me feel better, right? I didn't make a million coins, but I added in 5 new legends, so not a bad day. Um, but speaking of legends, guys, the new legends today, the new legends are just starting out 92 overall, left tackle, Jonathan Ogden. If you are like me and you were fortunate enough to get lucky and pull Willie Roaf out of a pack, and be all excited that you had a legend left tackle game, and then by your third game with them, go, oh my God, he's terrible. You finally got a guy that we can pass that on. Really, Rolf is terrible in this game for me. He cannot pass block at all. In walks Jonathan Ogden to save the day. That's why I had to add him today. 92 pass block, 91 run block, 6'9". The man is a monster. I haven't even played with him yet. I cannot wait to put him in the lineup and go play with him. Super stoked for this card. I thought he would drive the legend market a little bit more because I think a lot of people were pretty stoked about him right off the bat. There's somebody else people are more stoked about. We'll get to in 1 minute. Also today, 92 left outside linebacker, Kevin Green. Definitely a 3-4 linebacker. Do not try to put this guy in coverage. He's got 82 speed, not the worst you see, but you want guys a little bit faster than that at linebacker. But he has 90 tackle, 90 block shedding, and 92 finesse move. This year, finesse move seems to be so great. These guys get off the line so fast with finesse move. If you're running a 3-4, a 3-3-5 odd formation, I think this guy's great. Even if you're running a 4-3 and you want to put him on the line, go for it. I think he's going to be fantastic down there. I pulled him today. We did a Pack Wars video. That's going to be on YouTube later. Go watch it.
Oh, man.
Little spoiler alert. I won. Kevin Green popped out of a pack and I lost my mind. So I was stoked. I couldn't believe it. I think you and Zom pulled like 85s all day.
Yeah. What did I end up? Ended up with the 88 green was my highest.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I think Kevin Green's gonna be fantastic. Again, I haven't even put these guys in the lineup yet. I got them all, and then we shut everything down for the day. So tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, I'll be on the road in Arizona, but eventually we'll get out there and we'll throw these guys in the lineup and play. But I think everyone's favorite card so far out of the Legends this week is, of course, the limited. And I hate that he's a limited because he's a fullback and everybody's dying for a big, powerful fullback. Mike Allstott looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. 79 run block, 92 awareness, 88 lead block. Anybody, especially, your solo battle guys, if you guys that are running I formation, you need a lead blocker. This is your guy. 88 lead block, 86 impact block. The guy can catch too. He's got 83 catching. I don't have a single halfback on my team right now that has better than, I think, 74 catching, and that's 77 overall Tavon Austin. Everybody else is less than that, and it drives me absolutely crazy. 93 carrying. This guy can truck it up the middle. He can go on the outside and catch the ball and run for a little bit. And he can block. There's nothing this guy can't do. He's a limited time card. If you were lucky enough to pull him, you're at a lock because he also just quick sells for 500,000 coins, if that time ever comes. But I'm hoping he gets an ultimate legend card at some point because he will have to be on my team. And hopefully he's not a limited then because he's great. I mean, if you want that, a huge asset onto your team, it's incredible.
Yeah, I wish I would have pulled him today. But no luck for me.
Yeah, that would have changed everything. But yeah, guys, that does it for this week's weekly roundup for Madden news. Lots going on, I'm sure. Like I said, maybe we'll get a new promo this week. I don't know. We'll keep our eyes peeled, man. If you're not watching Twitter, following Kralo and Mutt Guru and EA themselves, you're going to be left in the dust if there's new promo coming. You want to know about these things before they hit because you can miss out on a lot of good stuff. I think that Jason Kelsey card, I had the stream up and I was actually playing Madden on another stream. When they announced Jason Kelsey, I went on and I bought 3 of them for 20,000 coins in a row. Within seconds, they were all gone out of the auction house and they came right back in for 75,000. Just like that. You know what I mean? They put something on Twitch and it literally in about 90 seconds, they were all gone. And they all came right back up. So I made a nice little profit. I kept one so I can power them up later. But yeah, so I mean, keep your eyes peeled. Stuff happens fast this year in Madden, just like it does every year. But if you're not on top of it, you can really be left in the dust.
It's a good thing we got you on our side, Kay, helping us out with these these tips.
I try.
just
I try,
helpful
but hopefully
Madden
my tips will be
advice.
better than. Hopefully the tips will be better than buy legend cards to break even 4 days later.
It is what it is. It just happened to be a bad week. I went all in. I know you went all in. A couple other people went all in. It just didn't work out like we thought. Not a bad thing. It's still okay. I still got my coins back, but I really thought I was gonna make out like
Right. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like I tried to that's we talked about before, it feels like a loss, right?
yeah,
Like I try to put out tips that are safe, right? I'm like, okay, so if you buy it here, you will at no worst break even. That's kind of my motto. I want, especially on a buy and hold. If you're going to buy stuff and hold it for a couple days, my biggest fear is, okay, well, if they go down, I'm like, nope, this is the floor. They won't go below this. So
yeah.
at worst, if you buy them here, you're going to break even. This week they didn't go up. So like I said, it feels like a loss because I think we had a lot of guys today, really expecting to make a lot. I did get a tweet from somebody said they made 500,000 coins today doing the legends. So he must have been there and got his out quick. He must have been the one guy that sold all of them for 29,000. But
Lucky.
so, I mean, yeah, it's there. You can still make profit, but but it's not over yet, right? So we broke even. We're back to where we were, and still I have 180 cards to sell combined on Monday. So I mean, we'll be sitting pretty good. I'll see where it sits when it's all said and done. But we'll keep trying to keep you guys informed.
All right, everybody. That's going to do it for this week's episode of the Sports Stampede. Appreciate you guys watching. Please do us a favor. Drop that subscribe. Post it. Share it. This is something that we're really trying to get moving, and we need your guys' help. So, do us a solid. Help us out. Spread the word. We're going to come back at you next week for week 4 of the NFL. So we'll touch base on what happened this week and keep you guys up to date with NFL news and the Madden news. So I'm AZ Rhino, co-host Buffalo K, and we will
Have a
see
good
you
night, guys.
guys next week.